How's it going? Today I'm going to talk about my experience in the dan-pena Castle, the QLA seminar. I'm going to share with you what I've been through, what I think about it, and yeah, let's get to it. And yeah, if you want to learn more about this space of QLA, dan-pena, and want to see someone who's living that QLA life, trying to grow by acquisitions, buying businesses, this is what the channel is all about. I'm going to talk about whatever you want, the process, my day to day. So yeah, subscribe and you won't regret it, and hit the notification button and comment below. Let me know what you think, and I'm gonna answer anything you want. I'm here for you guys and to document my journey. So yeah, to begin with, why I even went to the castle? What was the reason? For me, pretty straightforward. I went to a point in my business. I made a lot of money, and then I had to shut down one of the businesses, and I looked for my next stage in my life. I think I went to the castle now, is it 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. I need to check the exact date. But it's pretty much, it opened my eyes to what possible in the space of business and just life in general. I think the idea and the fact that you can work and be next to someone who used to be a CEO of a public company and he's opening his castle, his home for you. First of all, I gotta say, and I'm gonna expand on that, to be in the castle for a week is just an amazing experience. And yeah, so to in a nutshell, the main reason I went is I wanted to grow in my life. I wanted to expand, to figure out who I can be. And for me, the idea and the fact that dan-pena is talking about growing by acquisition is the best way to grow, and not just internally. For me, it opened my eyes to what's possible, and the fact that you can buy businesses is just incredible. For me, that opened my eyes. It was one of the first experiences that I thought it's even possible. And I remember watching TV shows like Shark Tank and The Profit and just saying, hey, this is what I want to do. But most people think that they need to have millions of dollars in their bank account before they get into this space of buying businesses and becoming an investor, which is not true. Yeah, this video is mostly about my experience in the castle and some of the lessons that I got. But so let's stay focused on that. So let's continue. So yeah, I think the castle experience is, and again, it was too long ago. I think it's like £20,000 or something like that to go to the experience. It's a week long. I think it's 7 nights. And again, don't get me into the details. If you want more details, go and message his team. But is it worth it? 100%. I mean, I highly recommend it to everyone. If you have the budget, the time, definitely do it. Just the fact that you're going to be around someone who used to be CEO of a public company, who is a very, very successful person, not by selling courses, which is something that isn't it's just not out there for too much. Most of the people out there that I know who are gurus are mostly making their living from that. And I remember looking at Dan. Obviously now he's making a lot of money from his events, but so what? It's part of the process. It's a business, and I think he's added a lot of value. But the fact that he was a public CEO of a public company is just, I don't think there's anyone with that kind of track record who's even willing to help people, and I just really respect that and appreciate that he's even giving people this opportunity. And not to talk about the fact that he's known as the $50 billion man, someone who helped many people reach their goals and created $50 billion or more at this point, no doubt, in value. I mean, I think it's incredible, and I would definitely recommend anyone who can do it to go there. So now let's get into some of the lessons and some of the experiences. So to begin with, the fact that you live in a castle for a week and you dress, you're only allowed to wear a suit and a tie. And it just, for me as someone, especially back then, I used to be a very nomadic person. I used to travel all around the world, running my businesses from the laptop. And I remember having to buy a suit literally just for the event. And the fact that you're living like that for a week, you feel like you're very successful person just by you being there, by you having, there are literally butlers and waitresses around you 24/7 giving you food and drinks as much as you want, and the whiskey is great. I had a fair amount of whiskey there during that week. So just that experience, I think it's just something that you don't experience usually in your day to day, just having butlers around you. I don't know, unless you do, wherever you are in the world. But for me, I remember being there and just saying, hey, this lifestyle where you just live very, very abundantly and having everyone working literally for you was a cool experience. It's something that is very humbling to feel that something like that is possible, like to be able to even buy a castle. I mean, it's not like I'm personally looking to buy a castle. I'd rather live in a modern house, watching the ocean, but I guess everyone in their own taste, right? But again, the experience, and Dan is obviously talking about it. You want to act as if or live as someone who's already successful, and definitely that week, especially if you don't have any business experience or success, I think it's really going to put you outside your comfort zone, and just being around people who are very, very successful already. Some of them, like obviously the idea that the castle costs like £20,000. I mean, that's definitely a barrier to entry. And when you go there, you meet people who are really successful, who already, I think probably 95% of the people I've been there with in my experience had already successful business. Maybe there are like few students who are coming in as students to that program, but most of the people already have successful businesses. So that the idea of hanging around with the right people, I think it's crucial. I think Dan is talking about it a lot, the fact that you're the average of the five people you're hanging around with. And I don't care where you are in life, the fact that you have the experience to be 24/7 there with people who are quite successful already, I think is humbling, and it's showing you that the fact that you see people from many different industries, and there's a lot to learn just by being around those people. Obviously, not to talk about the fact that you're just there listening to Dan all day. So the way it works is you wake up and you're pretty much in a class listening to Dan, and his stories are hilarious. I mean, I think I came to a realization that I think he said it as well. He would do it for free. I think it's just for him, just like being in a concert and having people listening to you to your life. I think it's just tremendous. It's pretty cool to have people come to your house listening to you and your stories and getting paid for it. I think it's something that I've got no doubt that he loved to do it anyway. Like he's not even looking about and the money with his life, and probably his wife is already tired listening to all of his stories. But I'm sure he's happy having a new crowd all the time, listening to some amazing stories, funny stories, inspiring stories. Motivating stories. I think all of that is just great. His charisma, I think, is something that I'm trying to think if I ever met someone who's that charismatic, got so much presence, and I mean he's in his 70s now, and the charisma and I'm trying to look for the right word, but just that the belief in himself is just like he's like, this is my life, I'm going in my path, and it's like you either come with me or not, and just that drive and that attitude is something that is really, really amazing to see in person. Like when you meet Dan in person, you're just like, oh, this guy is he's there. You can see, like, even in breaks when you go out between classes, it's just amazing to see how everyone just around him and listen to him, and obviously everyone came to visit him, but you can sense that person is like that everywhere, and no matter where he's at, people will be around him to listen to him. It's just charismatic in an amazing way, in a funny way. He's very to the point. He's very very to the point. And also it's funny. Many people asked me, "Hey, did he beat you up? Were you scared of him shouting and cursing and saying cunt and piece of shit and all that stuff?" For me, it's not a big deal. I've been in the army for 3 years, so I can handle that. For me, it was actually hilarious every time he's cursing and shouting at people. I found it hilarious. I think that people who are scared of that probably should be scared of that, or just grow up and become a man. But yeah, I think it's an amazing experience to be next to him, first of all, as the person, just be around the person that he is and his presence. And as for the actual content, so, and again, it's been a few years, but the first few days are mostly about your mindset, your attitude, your I guess vibe and beliefs towards life. And I think Tony Robbins or someone said it, that 80% of life psychology is in your head, and only 20% is about actually going out there and doing things. And I agree with that 100%. I can completely agree with that. And some of the lessons and the stories that he's telling you is mostly about changing your mindset, about putting you in a state of mind where everything is possible, where you can just go out there and literally compete with everyone. And I think it's really, really important, because most people out there, and Dan is telling that a lot, is that they're not taking action because they have limiting beliefs. They're afraid. They're thinking that listening to another podcast or reading another book is gonna put them money in their bank. And again, don't get me wrong. I think reading books is important. Going to seminars, going to events, taking courses, all of that is amazing. But many people that I see, they just do that. They don't take action, and they feel like they're asking themselves, why do I don't get the results if I had all those courses, if I went to all of those events, but they forget that the actual executing, the action part of things. And for me, it's just, in my opinion, this is crucial. And I think that the fact that Dan is there really emphasizing that in the first few days is just so important, and will really change your perspective about things. Another something that I really paid attention to is the fact that, especially looking back nowadays, I think that, and it's obviously, I mean, I'm sure Dan and everyone else will agree with me on that, is that Dan literally forgot some of the things that some of us just didn't learn yet. And you can see it in the ways looking at things, and on business, and just on life in general. I like the fact that he really simplified everything in his mind. It's like life is a very simple process, just not easy. And you can see how everything is simplified into just the only key points. And I think it's amazing to see, like, some of the things that I remember back then when I went to the castle, my understanding of business and acquisitions wasn't there. So it's kind of like some of the things that he said, I felt like I'm missing parts in between. But literally now looking back, I understand how all those things that he's talking about are so important, which for me back then, I feel like I'm missing some points on doing deals and acquisitions and stuff like that. But now looking at this perspective, I think he's genius. I think that the way he's looking on things is just the way you should look at things. But literally some of the things that he forgot and take for granted is like, yeah, that's of course that's the way things should work. You, at least me personally back then as a young kid, I didn't even know that exists. So it's really amazing to see what an experienced person can teach you about life and how you can simplify things for you. And I still look back at some of the lessons that I got in the castle, and I definitely, and still until nowadays, listen to every time I need a reminder or motivation, and I go back to Dan's videos and tapes, and you can find them all online for free. So definitely check them out. I think that some of his content, just, again, many times all you need is just to get the vibe in order to go and do those things yourself. So I love that. One of the key lessons that Dan is teaching you is that the fact that you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. And it's everyone in the self-development space heard that sentence before, but you never really take it into consideration. And what one of the tasks that Dan is giving you is to create few lists. One of the lists is just write everything you do all the week, and that's part of we have weekly reports. We had weekly reports with Dan when you just literally state everything that you're doing. And one of the important things is just look who you met, who you talked to, who you messaged with on Facebook, everyone you had interactions with. Write it down on a list over the last week. Write all those people down. Next to it, write down your goals, and next to it, figure out, are the people that you talk to that got nothing to do with your goals? And when you see that for the first time, it's really mind-blowing to understand that obviously depends on who you are and where you're in life, but I'm sure that many of you have many people that you talk to, interact with, go out with, who got nothing to do with your goals, and they're basically stopping your progress. Now, for me personally, I'm still at a point where I'm like, I do like to hang out with friends that got nothing to do with my goals. I just try to limit it to, I guess, an amount that won't stop my progress. But what Dan is telling you is basically, look, if you hang out with people who won't help you achieve your goals, don't be surprised that you're not achieving your goals eventually. So really have those lists and figure it out. And he even mentioned a story of one of his mentees who, whenever Dan taught them that lesson, he basically changed his phone number and created a voicemail saying to people, hey, I've got and you got a new phone number. If you don't have my number, fuck off. I don't want to see you in my life anymore. And that's how, I guess, 100% into that he was, which I agree 100%. I think in the end of the day, they say, yeah, you're the average of 5 people you hang out with, and you're going to be, in a few years, you're going to be the combination of the people you hang out with and the books you read. And I completely agree with that. The books you read, the seminars you went to, and obviously the action you took. One of the other key lessons in the castle is that you need to have a dream team, you need to have a mentor, and you need to do whatever it takes to find those people who have experience. And like I said, that idea that you can go out there and buy businesses is you can't take it for granted. And for many people, if they don't have the track record, especially for people who don't have an existing business, many times when they go out there and try to talk to a business owner, try to talk to a broker, financial institutions, accountants, lawyers, whatever, people won't take them seriously unless they have track record. Now the question is, what can you do if you don't have a track record? And the answer is find someone who have a track record and bring them to your team, and obviously share the equity with them. So bring in people, if you want to do deals, if you want to buy businesses, bring in people who do those things already. If you want to get in better shape, find someone who already did it and do whatever you can to work with him. So that's a key lesson that we got. And again, just the fact that you can borrow track record from someone is just, it's key. I mean, it's amazing to see that you can be a young, like even personally, I'm not old, but I used my partner's track record initially, and I still do. And it just, eventually after you do 1 or 2 deals, that track record is yours now, because they are your partners. They see, people from the outside see you as part of the group, and that's all you need. You don't need to be that amazing person who did thousands of deals initially, but you need to be around those people who did that, and then you'll be considered in the same place if you just work with them together. One of the other key lessons, I remember we were sitting in the class, and Dan was basically telling us, hey, okay, let's write your goals, write your affirmations. And he really emphasized the fact that you want to read your affirmations for at least twice a day. I still try to read my affirmations, my goals, as many times as I can. I used to even have times where I used to read my goals like 5 times a day, and that's based on one of my other mentors, Kom Mirza. Actually, I remember him saying to me that when he's in doubt and he's not feeling well, he's writing his goals sometimes 20, 30, 50 times a day, just to really, really remember where his focus should go. And Dan is really, Mr. Pena is really into that as well. He's telling you write your goals, and I remember after you write your goals, if I remember right, he's basically telling you, hey, now take that off and write your goals like 10 times bigger. Like create yourself goals that you don't believe that you can achieve in a lifetime. So you need to have your goals so high, so big. And Dan is talking about one of his regrets being just not creating goals that are big enough. He basically said, hey, I created that goal, I wish I created a 10 times bigger goal. And that's basically, he said that it's one of his only regrets. And I love that I had the opportunity to see someone who's in his 70s now, like I said, who can teach you those lessons about life and telling you, hey, look what I've done, look the goals that I set to myself and achieved. What would happen if I set myself such a bigger goal? So he's telling you, hey, you do that, don't make my mistakes. And I just love that opportunity. And my goals now are so ambitious, so crazy. Goals that I don't even want to put into the public yet, but I know that with me, whenever I wrote myself down those goals, they bring me so much passion and drive and ambition and motivation, and the fact that you read them every day as if you already lived that. Those tasks and affirmations and goals alone will basically help you to take the actions of that successful person. And yeah, then one of the other key things you get from the castle is to always go outside your comfort zone. And even in the weekly report, you always need to write down things that you were afraid of. I think it's crucial if you want to progress in life. You need to do things that you never did before, which are outside your comfort zone. Like even this, for me, doing those videos, this is really outside my comfort zone. Like I'm not used to do it. It was really, really weird for me to talk in front of the camera initially, but I'm doing that because I know it's going to help me, it's going to progress me. And it's crucial to do things outside your comfort zone. Another task, I remember we were sitting in the class and writing our obituary. I hope I say it right, but basically what you want people to say about you when you're going to be dead. And just the fact, I think, of you realizing, hey, everyone's going to die eventually, and sitting with yourself and really thinking, hey, this is what I want people to think about me when I'm dead, going to change really your perspective about life. And there's a sentence that I'm not sure Dan is saying it that way, but it basically means the same, that hell on earth would be to meet the person you could have been. I think for me, it's literally like a motto for me for life. It's like I need to tattoo that, because when you understand, hey, I'm going to die one day, and I don't want to look back and tell to myself, hey, I could have done better, I could have been someone else, I could have been more successful. I think that sentence alone, that attitude for life, I mean, and that's what you get when you're around Dan. It's like he's really taking advantage of every second, and you can see, like, just by his energy, he's so intense. And I don't know if people notice that, but I do notice it a lot. There are some topics and conversations that Dan is talking about, even in his YouTube videos right now, where he's literally about to cry, and I just see that, and I just really admire him for the fact that he's literally fully out there. He's like, whatever he says, he's just putting himself out there like completely 100%. He's like, there's no filters. It's like, this is who he is, and he's just like all out there, and it's so amazing to see that, and in someone like that who's just living every second like it's kind of like the last second. And I love that. I think that's where passion really comes from understanding, hey, life is so short. I need to make the most out of it, because I don't want to get to an old age and look back and say to myself, what the fuck have I done with my life? But yeah, that's I can talk about Dan for forever, and again, all of his content, everything you want from Dan is out there. It's on the web for free, so by all means go and watch his stuff. If you can afford the castle, go it. Pay the price to action, as he says. Every goal you have, you need to pay some price to action and achieve that goal. And I mean, I think that my experience with him was amazing. I might go at some point again, just for the even not for the content as much, for the appreciation of Dan, and just showing him, hey Dan, I really respect and appreciate what you've done for me. And I didn't have even the chance to tell it to him, because you know the week there is so short, and then even with the mentorship side of things, after that you work with him for a year, not one-on-one, but you send me weekly reports, and then you have if I remember right, we had like a 1 monthly call with all the other members, where Dan is just there listening to you and hammering you that you're a little cunt and you should take more action. But I just want to say, I mean, if Dan is watching that, I really would just want to say thank you for the opportunity to learn from someone like you, and the option to be around someone who's so experienced, so successful, and so I think humble. So yeah, I just if you see that, I just want to say thank you for just being who he is, and just being the no filter and no excuse guy. There's someone who'll be there to tell you the truth. You know, they said that a really good friend will tell you that you're fucking up, that will tell you, hey dude, you're fat, what's going on with you, go to the gym, do something with yourself. A good friend is someone who will go to war with you. It's not someone who will shut up because he's afraid to tell you something. And I think Dan is that person, as you can see it, as a good friend, as a good father, or a father figure, and I really appreciate it. I think I'm really grateful for that experience, for having the opportunity to see the world in a different perspective. So again, by all means, if you have the option, go out there, go to the castle, tell him that I said hi, if you decide to go after you watch this video. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my review. Again, amazing experience, amazing option to live in a castle and learn the mindset of someone who's very, very successful and created more value than anyone else in the world, in actual money and results, which I think is just, in the end of the day, that's what we care about, the results. That's what people care about, and see the results, and not I know he's talking about, he's laughing on Brian Rose many times, that it's not about the journey and all that. You can't buy food with Zen. And I love it, because Dan is eventually all about you going out there and achieving results, which I think that's what we're here for, to achieve results, to have impact, and then to be able to help more people. So yeah, thank you again. And if you like this type of content and you want to see someone who's living the QLA life and is out there following what Dan is thinking is the best way to grow, which is by acquisitions, follow this journey, this YouTube channel. This is what it's about. My life now is fully 24/7 QLA, buying businesses. That's what I care about. And Dan is also, I'll just complete and say, Dan is saying that if you follow that acquisition model, the QLA process, you can build generations worth of wealth within a few years. And that's what I want for you as well. And I'm sure that I can help you get there. Just follow this channel and comment below and let me know what you think. And if you have any questions about the castle or anything in general, just let me know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon.